treadmill analysis for gait has become the industry standard, really, particularly for the prescription of trainers or the provision of trainers. The advantages of a treadmill analysis is you can get lots of steps in a single without moving the camera. So you can get repeated steps and you can see the movements. On a video you can then measure the angles which the foot rotates to, so you can get a degree of movement. The disadvantage to the way a lot of trainer companies or trainer shops will do it is they only video you from behind. So what they're looking for is the roll out of that heel. Okay, so as a net result of pronation. So they video you from about there to see whether you roll or not. Then putting a trainer in may well stop that roll occurring. Okay, whether that's the right thing or not for you is another matter. What it doesn't show you from filming behind is at what point in the step that is occurring. So you may well not roll too much initially and then roll later on. So what you really need to do is video from the side as well, so you can then get a more adequate time frame for when those things are occurring. That's only showing you what the heel and foot's doing, so really you should be looking at sort of mid-thoracic level down, so the bottom of your rib cage down, to see what your hips are doing, what your legs are doing, knees are doing, then feet are doing, to get an image of what's going on the treadmill. Now, the disadvantage to most treadmills is that they're not a natural surface to run on. They're quite spongy, so they absorb some of the shock, and probably the biggest drawback is that your feet are being pulled under you rather than you pulling your body over your feet. So it's particularly the hips in a running action are working opposite to what they would normally work. So normally your hips behind you as you rotate your leg forwards, but on a treadmill, as your foot's pulled under you, your hip's actually doing the opposite to what it would normally do running. So they're good to show that something is happening, but it doesn't show you what's happening at what time. Okay, so it might identify a weakness, but it's not showing how it affects you as an individual. So they certainly have their place. They're very good if you've got a relatively small room for getting multi-step things, but as with every test, knowing the limitations makes it a valuable test.